profile, and if time permits, which I doubt it will, I would possibly like to take a couple of questions. Won't be able to take more than that simply because I have to speak again for 2 hours starting 3 o'clock. Now, when we talk about all of this, let me give you a piece of advice. Generally, when people come to me and say that they want to build profile for their kids, which is the second last point here, they think that profile building is important only for international colleges. Let me clarify this for you. Profile building is for life. It teaches you a lot of skills which cannot be taught inside the four walls of the classroom. So those of you who are not even interested in sending their kids abroad, fine. You need to start working on the profile of your kids. And that's very, very important. How do you plan? So the first and foremost thing, and this is an age-tested process. This is the process which is being taught at the Harvard, at the Yale, at Carnegie Mellon, at Oxford, at Stanford, wherever they teach child psychology or wherever they teach career counseling. And the idea for me is that you start following this process if you have not talked to a counselor so far. And you can at least start it at your home during that 5-minute desert time. Start understanding your kid. It is very important to understand the kid's interests. It is very important to understand the kid's skill sets. It is important to understand the aptitude. It is also very important to understand the personality. Not every career is cut out for everybody. You know, the kind of questions which I get from parents year after year, and in a city like Gurgaon, is astonishing. We are supposed to be at the Millennium City most aware parents. And the kind of careers I get, questions I get are, my child is too bright and yet too confused. What to do? Or, my child does not have any passion. How do I inculcate a passion? What to do? It's simply because we haven't spent enough time understanding our children. And we need to start doing that ASAP. The reason why you are here is not because there was a good Facebook group who came up with the program. The reason you are here is, and that too on a Sunday morning, waited for at least half an hour, 45 minutes for us to step into the room, is because you realize that need. It's because you know that there is a need to be aware and aware in the right manner. Now, he's one of the most respected personalities in the field of future prediction. And whatever he predicts comes true 2 years before from what he had predicted. He says, the illiterate of 21st century will not be those who cannot read and write, but those who cannot learn, unlearn, and relearn. So the first takeaway for you this session is that start spending time on your profile of your child, because when you spend time on the profile of the child, that's when the child becomes multi-dimensional. He becomes a self-learner, because it's said that the children of today or the students who will pass out of the high school in next couple of years will invariably have to change their job 3 to 4 times minimum in next 10 years. Minimum. Because the dynamics will change so rapidly. So the skills that are required for the future are these: critical thinking, creativity, and by creativity I do not mean drawing well or sketching well. Creativity is a bent of mind. I can be creative in analyzing a problem. I can be creative in coming up with solutions. Multifunctional, like I said, the kid should be able to adapt from one role to the other and then from the other to the another. cross-cultural and cross-regional. So the kid should be able to adapt and adjust into multiple cultures and multiple countries. Cognitive flexibility, the ability to understand, decipher, and emotional intelligence. The last one we already talked about. All the above 5, I'm not going to spend much time talking about it because these become too heavy to talk about. But I want you guys to go back home and start researching by yourself. How can you build these 5 or 6 skill sets in your child? And believe you me, if you are able to build in 2 or 3 of them, your child will still be successful and will be able to manage it. Options in India. Let's start with the, I generally do not want to talk much about options in India. Not because I want to talk about options abroad, no. Because some of these, possibly Google can answer it better than I can. Right? The only problem with Google is it's an algorithm. So you have to ask the right question to Google. It's a software. You feed into Google, I've been coughing from last 20 days, the Google will scare the hell out of you by saying that you have TB or cancer. You feed into Google, I've been sneezing and coughing from last 20 days, the Google possibly would say you have severe influenza or flu. So it pretty much depends on what you ask Google, and that's the result will come out. Anyways, what are the typical careers that you and me are already aware of? A PCM student can do a BTech, a BE, Bachelor's in Fashion Technology, Bachelor's in Architecture, Bachelor's of Planning, Commercial Piloting, Merchant Navy, Astrophysics, Robotics, Artificial Intelligence. I want you to just remember the last 3 here. We will be talking about it in detail. Astrophysics, Robotics, and Artificial Intelligence. Because rest everything else is common knowledge. And I really don't think that I can waste my time and your precious time in talking about something which is available on Google on the first link. The moment you combine PCM with computers, the jobs that come out are the careers for the next 2 decades. So you combine PCM with computers and you get robotics, you got mechatronics, you get machine learning, you get artificial intelligence, you get cyber security, a big time booming career for the future. You get cloud computing, you get IoT, Internet of Things. We will talk about that. Careers with PCB. Again, some of them are basic common knowledge. Medicine, dentistry, radiology, microbiology is something I want you to keep yourself with. Biotechnology, medical technician, food technology, microbiology further into bacteriology and virology, forensic sciences, and criminology. So from this slide, I want you to keep 3 more in mind, which is criminology, forensic sciences, and possibly microbiology and bacteriology and virology. Just keep that thought in mind. I do not have slides on all of them, but I can surely tell you, if time permits, on how to get into them. The ones that I am asking you to hold back with you and forget about the others are the careers for the future. So just hold them with you for the time being. 2 more careers which I really want you to focus on with PCB is genetic engineering and cell engineering. Keep them with you. Careers with humanities and liberal arts. Psychology, criminology. Now, the question. Abhishek, you just mentioned criminology in PCB. How can a career meant for science can also be done by a person of humanities? Please understand that today's careers have multiple entry points. You do not or your child is not restricted to take 2 or 3 subjects to go into a particular career. And I'll show you how to be innovative with subjects, and you still will be able to tap on the careers. Right? Hold this with you. We have a lot to talk about. Psychology, criminology, political science, international relations, sociology, anthropology, journalism, mass communication, performing arts, design thinking, philosophy, economics, law, and legal studies. Again, some of these are very common knowledge. I want you to hold on with psychology, criminology, communication, design thinking, and maybe economics. I just want you to hold on with these for the time being. Career with commerce, again common knowledge. You know, when I was preparing the deck for this presentation and the talk, I reached out to the team of high school moms and DPS and I asked, what do you expect me to talk about? And they gave me the list of the questions which came on their group or wherever, website, wherever. And for a moment I thought that, do parents really want me to talk about these things? Because these are very common knowledge. So I took the audacity of creating my own deck, and I thought that we'll do a small little poll in the beginning, which we did, to just understand where do they want me to focus more time on. Because obviously as a professional, I possibly see things differently, and in the day-to-day hustle and bustle of your life, you possibly have become more clerical and you're not being able to see, which is fine, because if you are a mechanical engineer, I can't teach you mechanical engineering, right? So is the other way around. So again, common knowledge, there are certain degrees and there are certain certifications. One question that I really want to answer, and there is a CA here, he might disagree with me. However, again, I'm taking the audacity without offending anybody. CA after 12th or CA after graduation? Believe you me, after graduation. There is no knowledge without college, ladies and gentlemen. Don't take away those 3-4 beautiful years out of the kid's life. College is not about learning. College is about experience. College life is just not about education. It is about an experience. Do not take that experience away from your child because of a professional degree. Anyway, so this is common knowledge. This is common knowledge. Let's see, how do we get innovative? So innovative is, you have interest in fashion and you have PCM. You combine fashion with engineering, you become fashion technologist. And believe you me, the Gucci's and the Pradas and the Louis Vuittons of the world hire FTs. Fashion plus business, fashion management. You have interest in sports, but you cannot make your career in sports. Sports plus event management is sports event management. Again, a big time booming career, even in a country like India now. So gone are those days when sports management was only a career for the Europe, because that was the FIFA and the soccer clubs and the Manchester Uniteds and the Barcelonas of the world. It's a big time career in India today. Sports plus psychology, sports psychologist. Sports plus business analytics, sports analytics. Travel plus business management, tourism management. I cannot list down all of them. The idea is just to make you aware that, hey, we can get innovative just by combining the subjects and choosing a career. In one of the presentations very recently, I was asked, how do you become a career counselor? And believe you me, for 5 minutes I was taken aback. Down. So, somebody asked me, how do you become a career counselor? And I said, honestly, in my days I was so confused. I was so confused that I researched so much that I think I had no other option but to become a career counselor. future careers to be successful. Now, this is where you wanted me to spend the maximum time on. And unfortunately, because I didn't knew that you want me to spend maximum time on this, I have not created slides for all the careers that I've asked you to park, right? But I will talk about most of them with or without the slides. So that's not a problem. I want you to, okay, you are all ready. Please. All right, awesome. So I want you to imbibe these names, because this is where, okay, kids here, only the kids. Cross your heart and you will honestly raise hands if there has to be raised. How many of you really want to work for charity? Only the kids. 1. Okay? 2, 3, okay, 4. I can see one half a hand. Okay. How many of you really want to work for traveling the world? Okay. 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 Lot many. Awesome. How many of you really want to work for money? Parents, see what you have made. And then you complain to career counselors like us. This is you. And there is no problem in earning money, as long as you pay your taxes and contribute. So please make a note of these careers: data analytics, data sciences, IoT, cloud computing, artificial intelligence, sustainability. So from architecture, the world has moved towards sustainability now. Financial analytics. So from corporate finance, the world has moved on to financial analytics. Robotics. From marketing, the world has moved on to marketing analytics. You search on Google right now, a vacation in Croatia. After 5 minutes, open your Facebook. Believe you me, all the ads that you will see will be of travel and tourism. Now, you are educated, I am educated. We understand that the privacy laws in US are so strong that Google and Facebook do not share data with one another. They'll be screwed. So how does this happen? 3 reasons: marketing analytics, artificial intelligence, and the third one, your mobile is listening all the time. It is. Business intelligence. So from business management, the world has moved into business intelligence. So I had this question given to me that parents want you to talk about careers for commerce without maths. And I was like, why? I mean, why would you call me to talk about this when it is there on Google? Right? I'm supposed to be here because I'm supposed to be better than Google. First 5 answer choices on Google, if I start speaking the same thing, you will write me off. So I cannot. Now, careers for commerce without maths. In India, possibly everything. You can even write a Symbiosis or a Nursi Monji or a Christ or a Xavier's for a BBA or a BBM or a BSc Economics. There's no rocket science required for me to tell you this. Right? Abroad, if you want to go for business management, hell, you cannot go without mathematics. Because 2 semesters of calculus is mandatory to study economics or business management. So the answers would vary. I cannot have a thumb rule and give you a clear-cut answer. And that's why the answer would vary as per the location, the answer would vary as per your child. Psychology plus, we'll talk about that. Why is this plus? International relations, human rights, communication and media, cybersecurity, oceanography, and financial advisory. These are the careers for the future, and believe you me, whether you are in science, medicine, non-medical, or humanities or liberal arts, this is what you need to focus on, apart from what I said, nuclear medicine and cell engineering and genetics. This is what you need to focus on. So, like I said, you combine PCM with computers, you get into robotics. But do you know that robots will have a self-learning capability? And this is what I want to show you. You have a Google. How many of you have a Google Home or Alexa? Do you know that they are listening? This is The Telegraph in UK. I've taken a news article from there. Couple of weeks old. They are listening to everything you say in your living room or in your bedroom. Your privacy is at stake, but the problem is, it's not just about privacy. There is an opportunity too. And the opportunity is that all these devices are listening because they have to make that software sooner or later, which will have natural language processing capability. So they are listening. They are listening to your diction. They are listening to your words. And that's why, I do not know if you have tried this or not, I have spoken to my Google Home for a lengthy period of time to research, and Google Home starts understanding. For few of the questions when it used to say in the beginning that it's a wrong question or you've asked the wrong question, it has started responding now. So will be the robots. They'll be self-learning. How do you get into robotics? So I know by now you have understood that robotics is a great field, but how do you get into it? Now, again, my answers would vary. If you are in India, and if you want to pursue in India, there are very limited options at the bachelor's level for solo robotics. There aren't many. At masters, we do have some at IITs. So at bachelor's, you would have to do mechanical engineering or electrical engineering, or if you are abroad, you can possibly look at a direct entry into robotics. Once you do that, you also need to understand that you should have the capability of handling higher level mathematics, and you should have some basic knowledge of computer programming. Now, when I say basic, I mean basic. I'm not expecting the kid to become a coder. In robotics, it's a hardware field, it's a mechanical field. We expect the person to know basics of coding, not nuances of coding. So colleges in India, masters in robotics and mechatronics at IIT Kharagpur. Otherwise, you can look at it at bachelor's level at very many colleges across the world, including my own alma mater. Caltech, Georgia Tech, UC Berkeley, UPenn, UCLA, my college, you can really explore that. AI. Now this will surprise you. This will sure hell surprise you. I can make a child with psychology get into AI. From liberal arts or humanities into artificial intelligence. What is artificial intelligence? Is the expertise of a software to understand a human behavior, and to understand a human behavior, who will be the best person? Psychologist. So psychology plus computers can get you into AI, artificial intelligence. Skills required, you need basic programming skills, Python, Java, C++. Okay, hold on. We really need our children to be tech savvy. I appreciate that. And that's why you have given them gadgets. But what we need is that our children should not be tech averse. The future is of the technology, whether you are into humanities or otherwise. So you need to make your child tech literate, and that's a must. Your child does not need to become a coder. He or she does not need to become an IT professional, because an average IT Indian male is the most common profile. I mean, you're still better off if you're an IT Indian female. But they need to be tech aware. So, I am a vegetarian. My entire family is. I've been asking my cousins to help my child build on the non-vegetarian skills. For me, it's a skill which I have not been able to develop. And they said, everybody I talk to, they say, start with chili chicken or butter chicken with gravy. And I said, why? And their answer is, if the gravy is tasty, he will start developing the habit. So if you start with fillet of fish of Wimpy's, it's bland, so the child will not pick it up. I respect that. And most of you are nodding your heads and agreeing. So you need to also agree that if you treat your child with technology through C++, your child is going to hate on the very first day. Right? So you start with nice languages which resonate with child, something like Python, or maybe an app development program, right, which resonate with the child, where in 10 days he's able to create a stupid, but yet it is an app. 10 days. And once he sees the results, that if I click here and the color code changes, yes, it is working. My kid is learning a coding program, and he came to me one day and he said, Dad, let me tell you one thing. Coding is easier than learning French. It's just another language. I'm enjoying it. All right. So multiple entry points again. PCM with computers, psychology plus maths and computers, and you can get into AI. Again, the problem is not very many bachelor's programs available. So if you want to pursue, you will have to possibly take the engineering route or the psychology route, and then think about picking up artificial intelligence into the postgrad. Otherwise, you'll have no option but to look at abroad. Sorry, I jumped too fast. Psychology. This is my most favorite one. If you have heard me earlier, you would possibly say he's repeating the same statement, but I don't mind. You're still here to listen to me again. You will agree, धीरे धीरे हम सब पागल हो रहे हैं. And that's a fact. और क्योंकि हम पागल हो रहे हैं, psychology is the future. How do you combine psychology? I'll leave it upon you. I have given you some examples here. So you combine psychology with business. You become a marketing strategist, a human resource professional, or an advertising professional. Psychology plus economics, behavioral economist, market research, consumer research. Psychology plus eco plus maths, research analyst. Psychology plus, okay, so it said med, it should be masters of education. You become a career counselor. And believe me, what's better than getting paid for talking? I'm not kidding. It's a good profession. Think about it. Psychology plus computers, we talk about artificial intelligence. Psychology plus child development, developmental psychology. Psychology plus biology, criminology. Now we'll spend 2 minutes on criminology. Now, criminology is a non-crime facing role. So